homework for the IAAS homework. So this part of the exercise, which is part 3, is talking about basically is doing a parsing of XML syntax. The story is not very straightforward. However, the once you get the previous part working, you got the basic plumbing working, your auto test, your RSpec in my case, they're relatively straightforward. So let's start from the beginning. The constructor is already provided in the in the code, so there's nothing much to talk about. Interesting private, I suppose, because we don't want to expose this class these class method to anybody else. So I think that's why we're trying to do encapsulation here. So to parse the response, basically we ask the Bacon API and come back with results, and depends on this is just simulating. The RSpec is basically simulating loading an XML results and start parsing it. So if this is simulating if we got these XML payload from the API, how should we parse it? So this guy basically is doing a dispatcher. He's doing an XPath walk on the XML, saying that, hey, do we see an error element? If we do, then error. Otherwise, do we see a link, spell check, or if we simply don't know what, or we don't know what to do with it? Now you say, hey, what the heck is that? Well, if you look into their sample XML, which is inside the RSpec, you can see these are the sample that they're trying to compare with. So spell check, name, results back. So I'm using this logic to basically figure out if I have a root element of link or spell check. Okay, where do I get the name of these XML file from? Well, it's in the spec. The spec call for loading of particular file and then do testing on it. I kind of like this RSpec. It takes more work for the guy who wrote the test than actually to do the code. Isn't it interesting, right? However, it ensures that when your code runs, actually it does meet a certain expectation. So these are almost like, to me, from my experience, it's almost like a backwards development, but it's interesting. This is test driven, right? You're writing the stories first before you even write the first line of code. So so come back to here when we're doing the response here. So once we got that, we got a dispatcher, and then we have these helpers, which is defining down here. If we have a graph response, which is a typical normal response from the XML payload, we basically do a few things. We say, hey, set the type to graph. Don't know what that is, but the exercise call for it, I suppose this is defined somewhere, which is good. The way I use is I'm not using hash. I'm just saying, hey, put it into an array, XPath. The reason is the XPath actor, although it returns a collection of stuff, like an array of things. However, the things itself has way more information than than what we want, which is the name of the actor and movie. If I looking at what we got here, if I don't do I have any good one here to show you? Yes, I guess I don't. It's already gone. But in any case, if I don't do this, if I simply try to use the XPath and straight into trying to do a merge later on, like using the zip and all, it will do it. However, it zip all as well. Not only zip the text content, but also the tag and the XML label name into it, which is way more than what we need. So what I end up needing to do is treating each XPath collection of nodes as collection of nodes, not array, not like a document say, well, I guess the document is still correct. They call it the array, but it's not an array of string. It's an array of nodes. So for each of these nodes, I'm looping through them, and I'm grabbing the text content and put them in an array. So an array for actor, an array for movie. Then I weave them, flatten them, and then remove all the null. Okay, that's it. Very simple. The second part of the homework, it's about doing a spell check response, basically saying, hey, what is this actor is also known as? For that, basically, same deal. I'm getting all the matches coming back, right? This is the sample results. Many different variation of this guy called Anthony Perkins. And to do that, I put them into an array. Then very simply, I called a unique filter on the array. So boom, there you go. Nothing, no fuss. Very simple logic. So thank you for watching.